we're going to be taking a look at what is the document object model and understand how it enables JavaScript to perform the client-side manipulations, that is, to change the HTML tags, to change their attributes, to add certain effects, to perform validations and whatnot. So it is really important that we understand what exactly is document object model and what exactly does it facilitate or help us achieve. So in this video, we are going to be taking an extensive look at the document object model. So with that being said, let's get started. So when we actually start off with web development, that is developing a website right from the scratch, there are three main aspects to a very basic website development scenario. So we have HTML, which is hypertext markup language. So this HTML adds structure to our web documents, so whatever website you design, you have HTML tags which actually design the structure. Okay, so we use tags such as division tag, section tag, heading, title, and all those HTML markup language tags. So now HTML is not a proper general purpose programming language because you cannot use if else, you cannot have inheritance, you cannot have the object oriented properties. It is just a markup language which is not exactly a programming language, but it is used just to give structure to our web document or website. The next thing that comes here is CSS, which is cascading style sheets. So this CSS enhances the HTML by adding styles to our web pages. For example, color, border, margin, image, positions, etc. And all these things can be handled in a separate file, which is cascading style sheets, or it can also be embedded in the same HTML file. There are 2-3 different ways in which we can use this cascading style sheets. But then you get the idea, right? In order to add certain design aspects and add certain styles, we use the CSS. And lastly, the third part, that is JavaScript, which actually adds programming to our web pages. So using HTML and CSS, you can definitely develop a complete website, but then to add certain functionality, for example, if you have a button, when you click on that button, something should happen, right? So that function can be added by using JavaScript. Or let's say you have a form and you type in your name, and instead of name, you type in some number. So you want to perform validations that you cannot enter number in your name section, right? So those kind of functionalities on the client side can be performed using JavaScript. So when we combine these three things, you get a complete client side website, which has proper structure by HTML, which has styles, which is added by cascading style sheet CSS, and which also has client side functionalities like validations, effects, events, etc. using JavaScript. Now the question arises, how does JavaScript interact with HTML document? Now JavaScript is a programming language, right? It is a scripting language which is embedded in the HTML document itself, or you can have a separate file, which we'll see in further videos. But then the question that arises is, how does JavaScript understand the HTML markup language? So this is where that document object model comes into picture. So let's take a look at a typical HTML document and let's see a little bit of HTML markup language. Okay, so as you can see on the left side, we have a HTML document. And if you have even 1% of HTML knowledge, which is the prerequisite of this entire course, you can definitely understand this because it is a very basic HTML document. So we have our HTML tag over here. So opening HTML and closing HTML. Then inside that we have head tag and then head tag closes. We also have body tag opening and body tag closing. Now inside the head we have our title tag, and then we have certain text which is my title, and the title tag closes over here. Similarly, inside the body we have heading tag h1, we have one division with id div1, we have another division with id div2, and inside those individual divisions we have paragraph tags. Okay, now this is very basic. In fact, let me just actually show you the actual code, and we'll also see this code on the browser, how the web document looks.